So this doesn't matter whether you're southpaw, orthodox, whatever, you know, fighting stance you're in as far as that's concerned. And all we're gonna do is, I'll tell you guys when to switch. One person's gonna be a little bit of the aggressor, and the other person, you're gonna kind of get the sleeve grips to counter, okay? And what I want you guys to do, so we'll go slow. Like you don't have to, I don't want you guys going real fast during this. You can decide to speed certain parts up if you want, but it's more about, I wanna make sure your footwork is correct. I wanna make sure your hands are up, and I want you guys to feel what's going on and feel what kind of positions or strikes you can come back with and counter. So the idea is, you know, I have my hands up. Now, let's say Tom throws a jab out. You can catch, this, right? I can kind of catch the sleeve, come here and punch, and then hit, strike, fit into a shot. If he throws the backhand, I can kind of parry. Same thing. I can look to obtain a sleeve grip and punch here, take an angle, punch, and look to fit in, okay? As a matter of fact, what we'll do is we'll go 1 for 1 on that. So just take turns with it, take your time. And what happens is too, so my hands are up, so if he throws this jab and I miss and I don't get the sleeve, I'm still misdirecting the jab and I can still fit in for shots. I can still kind of move out, cut these angles in play. But every twist and turn we make, your partner's gonna move and rotate with you probably. So it's very important that we're not, if he throws a jab and I kind of come here and catch, as I start to rotate, he rotates, but don't kind of catch yourself in these weird spots, you know? Like adjust your hips, you know, slide, float, play, look for uppercuts, overhands, crosses, fitting in on takedowns. We don't even need to finish any shots. So just go 1 for 1, like nice and easy. And you can have them, if you're having trouble with, or you want them to really throw the jab or the cross, you know, just for the purposes of drilling, you could also like let them know. So I could be like, yo, Tom, yeah, do me a favor, throw the jab here. So he throws the jab. As he throws, I'm gonna look to just kind of catch and punch, move and slide. And I might go, I didn't like the way that one felt. I'll do that a couple more times, and then maybe move on to the other one. And then I could say, hey, throw whichever one you want, right? And then it's kind of up to me to parry. The big thing is, don't do this. If he throws, don't just kind of hit the hand down, because now you've created an opening that he's definitely gonna be throwing punches or headbutting or who knows, right? So the hands need to stay up here as we're kind of cutting and maintaining this angle. When I start to turn him here, I have the advantage there, because I'm looking through his ear. So therefore he's gonna turn into some pretty hard shots, okay? Let's just go 1 for 1. Pairing, try to catch the sleeve grip if you can. Punch the sleeve grip. Look at your options for punching, striking, fitting in on shots and takedowns, okay? And we'll take turns. Just keep it nice and slow as we go through this, guys. 1, 2, 3. You're going here, then you're going here. He's already straight on that, right? So here, punch. Now, if you want to fit in your shot, take this hand. Yeah, so that's going to be a little easier to get to the position you want to get to. Someone that's not punch. Yeah, now you're right on. There you go. Yep, as you punch this down, you just thread through right to the hip. So watch. So when you take this sleeve, think about it this way. When you punch, now you're going over, you're already giving him something like a little throw here.
Or away from your shoulder.
Because now you're up on his hips, and then he doesn't have the arm and fall either. So when you're here, punch.
Take this right under the, yeah. His arm completely on the outside.
Yeah. Exactly. As well, counter striking. You guys aren't going to just sit here and be like, yeah, take my sleeve. Do whatever you want. Right? They're going to be moving. So it's very important. When we get this, I want you guys to punch it. Punch it down here. Look what he has to do now. He has to turn into me. So when I'm here, I'm able to fit into whatever I want. So watch the transition into the shot. Because this is very important, because once again, I can't switch grips too much. I'm not going to have a lot of time to make this too pretty, okay? So when he throws this punch, when I catch, I punch here. Now look at this angle. I'm stepping behind his leg. What can I do here? Foot sweep, right? I can punch now. My punching hand is going to fit in here. And then I'm in on the hip, which we can go to a hip ride situation, whatever we want. So as I have this punched over, I punch. That's going to thread through to the hip. All right, you're only going to get maybe 2 punches off before the guy completely turns into you. okay? Because like I said, guys aren't gonna just sit there and just beat your ass, okay? So maybe go 2, pop, and then fit in on that shot. Or what you can do is, if you're not really interested in fitting on the shot, bop, bop. Now I can take a grip here, look for knees, and you know, we go to other situations as well for strike. Sometimes I like to strike out of it, sometimes I like to wrestle, sometimes I like doing both in the course of one round. It just depends, okay? But remember, you're not gonna have a lot of time. Punch this down to the hip, inspect, and cut space off to the hip. Because the more he has to turn, I could blast him with a straight forearm, elbow. I could maybe headbutt him. So you do have like a lot of different options there, okay? But time is not on your side. So make it short and sweet and fit into whatever we need to fit in on, okay? All right, guys, 1, 2, 3. But, so now let's say someone throws like a hook. So let's say Tom comes in and throws like a big like leap hook, right? Now here I'm catching and I have options. I could go right to an overhook. I could also go right to an underhook here. Usually depending upon how tall the guy is, or you know how high I am in relationship to how high he is, that usually determines whether or not I'm going under or over. You know, because if I'm real low and he throws that hook, I'm not gonna like come up here and look to attack. I'm gonna go right to the underhook. Whatever's easiest is the idea that we need to get to. We'll go overhook first, and we're going to, when we kind of come in, we're gonna go overhook. We're gonna go hand on the bicep here, guys. So I'm sure you kind of see that's happening here. Now when we go hand on the bicep, then we're gonna go under, and we're gonna grab, and we're gonna make a grip. Okay? So now I've got his arm track, and I have a body lock here. And all we're gonna do is once we get here, I'm gonna take a big step behind, and then we're just gonna stop. Okay? Because we're gonna launch each other. We're gonna get crash mats out for that. But the idea is, so we throws big hook. Boom, I'm here, we're going bicep, overhook. Now when I kind of get to my position I want, because you notice he can try to get like a real good grip on me, but I'm gonna have that inside control, and I'm gonna get to here. Once I get to here with my hands locked, sometimes, if I could get a gable grip, I prefer a gable grip. Sometimes I just grab the meaty part of my hand and keep hip to hip, take a big step to the back. All we're gonna do right now. So he could even throw, doesn't matter what stance he's in, if he throws a big overhand in the back. So I'm here, right? So same thing, I'm getting to this position. I could also from here come in. God, I never grip on the side of this. So we're gonna, once again, just basically lock our hands from that under overhook position. And then we're gonna take a big step to the back of the hips, okay? And just stop. So let's go 1 for 1 on that for a while. I want you guys feeling really good with that. And then we're gonna get the crash mats out and start taking each other backwards off of that. Okay. So now we're catching the loopers. So hands up, here, bicep, lock, take a big step behind the hips so we don't need to finish, okay? All right guys, 1, 2, 3. And you guys can put it here. So I want you to take an overhook. So you're going to do like catch. Go first and go to the bicep. Yeah. Now, when you're ready, you're going to slide this into your underhook, you're going to lock, and then you're going to step behind the hips and just kind of free there. So you're going to put on your hand. Yeah, so you want to make it. Yep. So over that inside.
And body closer, right?
Body going to be closer. We're going to kind of urinate each other. Good. Yeah, that's a good. Yep. And then you're going to slide through just like you did now. Slide this under and lock. Good. And then you're going to take that big step around back. Yeah, and that's it. You can just stop right there. Yep. Good. Good. Don't worry about making this part perfect and to fit in, because you can always turn each other appropriately to position yourself, you know, so you land on the pad. And usually when I do like mat returns or big throws, I'm usually kind of like hopping and repositioning myself anyways with these situations. So your partner throws a hook. Once again, your catch, we go overhook here. We get to the bicep first. I can start to reposition my feet. When I do, I come in and I grab. Now, I like to pull the hips in. So see what I'm doing here? I'm kind of going hip to hip. And then I'm going to take this big step around. Now when I do that, it's just a lift. And then go. It's nice and easy. We're not like smashing each other. It's pretty controlled as far as that goes. It should be a nice 4-point throw. And there are even versions, you don't even have to lock your hands. But, so I come in here, like I can basically just kind of step in and maybe go here, as long as I get the right entry and fit in. I think that this is a little safer as far as making it perfect. So once again, we kind of catch. I come in, get to the hip, I pull the hips in, I take a big step, and then now I'm kind of, I'm here, my hips are in, I'm using my head to see where like I'm using the top of my head on their body for body control. I'm lifting, and then we're just kind of going back. So when I end up in this position here, I try to readjust into the hips, take a big step. So if I get here, I don't like an under or overhook. I'm not a fan of this position because I don't have an advantage here. It's a 50-50 position. Okay, I talk about this stuff a lot. I don't like positions where I don't have a clear advantage. So we have to create an advantage here right away. And there's a couple different things we can do to create advantage, create an advantage. I can look for that, go straight to that body lock, arm in. I can maybe pummel that arm in for double underhooks. I can do a bicep control, which we taught in MMA last night. So we're under overhook here, right? Let's come out this way so everyone kind of see from this side. You guys come over on this direction. Now, so if I don't like what's going on, if I go bicep, I'm just creating an advantage for myself, just by simply going to here. I've limited his ability to pull, to push, to do anything. I've got control over him, and I could thread right through to the body, that body lock, okay? Our other options we have from here, once again, just stay on the bicep, and then just kind of getting out of that situation. I could go bicep here for little foot sweeps, get in other positions, go to frames. And then, yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful of everything when you're in here. Because, I mean, look, you could be headbutting the whole time you're in here, knees and all that good stuff. And then I could also double underhook and then look to get into this control, okay? So there's a few things we can do there to create advantageous positions for ourselves. Get to the bicep, lock your hands, control the hip, or pummel in for a double underhook there, okay? So that's basically 3 steps to creating an advantage position off of the over-under position, which is typically just a 50-50 neutral position there, okay? Okay, so the idea is, so let's say Tom goes, he pummels in and gets double underhooks on me. Now, so once he locks his hands, what he's gonna wanna do is transfer his body lock to my hips. Yes, and once he controls my hips, he can take me down very easily, throw me, manipulate me, all that good stuff. So, what I wanna do is, if he starts, underhooking in here, getting to the hips, so go ahead and lock your hands. Right away, I wanna start framing on his hips and getting my butt back. I wanna create space. Now, for combat sambo, you gotta watch out because there are gonna be knees being thrown and stuff when you're in here, so you can block the hip. Now, once I have enough space, you can go ahead and lock your hands again. There you go. So once I have enough space, I can turn, re-pummel if I want, push off on the hips. Maybe look for my double underhook. Now Tom can go the same thing, push off on my hips. There you can get your butt back and re-pummel in now. There we go. So that's the idea of how we go back and forth in that drill. I want to see that drill a couple times. One person's going to pummel in, get double underhooks. So you can take your double underhooks. Right away, I got to press on the hips and get my butt back. And I want to get his lock higher up around my armpits. The more he controls my lower back, that's the problem. So sometimes I do this thing where I pull the elbows up, and then I come in, and then I'm punching underhooks and playing. So if the lock is low, and if I can't get both, I go 1, here. So see what I kind of did there? I manipulated the lock of being low. And that's what I have to do all the time, like these really high level wrestlers, because they get that fast. And I'm just yanking the lock up, push the hips, get my butt back, re-pummel in to my double underhook, okay? Let's just go back and forth and play that a couple times. Go really light at first, and then you know, have your partner hold on to the double underhook a little bit more, make it a little harder, pushing on the hips, creating space. Learn how to do it slowly, easily, and then start to make it progressively a little harder with your partner. Okay, so you're digging a little bit more for those underhooks. You're fighting to get your hips back. It hurts a little bit, it's a little uncomfortable, okay? Let's just go 1 for 1 on that, back and forth with our partners. 1, 2, 3. Go push on the hips, hips. No. Push on the hips first. Push it away, push the hips away. There you go, get your butt out. Now, when you create enough space, go 1 at a time. Turn, there you go. Good. That's it. Push it, hips, there you go. Now, pummel 1 at a time. That's it, good. And you can go back to your bottom. Yeah, you're right there. You're right here. And we're not going to do any strikes, okay? I don't want to overcomplicate things. So we're going to start from here, and then the idea is we're going to play and we're going to look to get to a takedown, okay? Now, once again, I could go for a straight takedown right here if I want, because I could just lock my hands and then look for the throw we did earlier. Might be a little hard to hit today because everyone knows it's probably coming, right? But other than that, we can look to pummel. We can also, like I said, kind of like, if I pummel and kind of come in here, I can take belt grips, lock, and then just to get into whatever we want to get into. But if we break and come back here, go back in your over under and play, okay? I want you guys primarily playing out of that position. So I want to see, someone's going to get to a grip, someone's going to get to a double underhook on you, someone's going to get their hands locked. You guys are going to have to go to the hips quickly, look to re-pummel, and look to capitalize off some stuff there. We've got drop saying Najis and fireman's carries, front headlocks off of these positions. If you hit someone with a front headlock, I want you to snap them all the way down, spin around, take your back, like you would, you know, get ready to pound them out or whatever, okay? But let's just kind of do like a takedown, let them up, all right? This is the grueling work. This is stuff that's not pretty, but this is where the real fights are won and lost, you know? This is where the real fights are won and lost. So if you can be a dog in these situations, you're gonna win a lot of fights and you're gonna win a lot of matches. You're gonna score a lot of points in these situations, whether we're talking MMA or we're talking combat sambo or any other grappling sport or whatever, okay? We gotta be a dog in here. So you've gotta keep fighting for your position, fighting for your position at all times, because the second you stop fighting or you get a little lazy, you're gonna get taken down. Over, under, and go. Let's get these takedowns. Pummel and work, guys. Here, I mean, I've got the belt. Same thing, I'm not a big fan, I like to get here. I feel like I get much more control over the hip and the body coming in here, but once again, the belt is an option. And then sometimes you don't even need to have your hands locked if that kind of flow is there and the setup is there. But try to lock, but you can also play around with other variations of grips as well, okay? 1, 2, 3. If I don't have the arm in and he's leaning forward, I'm not going to probably lift him up and take him backwards. I'm going to go to something else. So the nice thing is when you have the arm actually here and we go bicep, now I have the arm trap, look what I can do is posture, right? So once I can get him standing up a little bit more, it's going to be easier to take him back. So if you have the arm in, the step behind the back is a really nice place to go. But watch the exaggeration I do with my hips. So when I get here and I have this locked and I start to pull his hips in, I'm taking this big step. All right, so you got to really exaggerate. I'm pulling my toes, and that's where we go. So you guys are kind of stepping, stopping, and being flat-footed. I'm going here. Like we're both going.
You're using the rotation of the step to
Yes,
get the momentum to go back.
exactly. And so I'm not stopping. Like I said, we're both flying. We're both going to be in the air on this one. All right, buddy. So once I get here, it's a big step around the back, and I'm up on my toes, and my body, everything is going. So I kind of come in, big step around back. Look, I'm low, I'm wide, and the idea is you're chucking big whiskey tire throws, you know, over our backs and stuff. It's kind of that deal. So get here, and then use that momentum, that turn, and then go. Okay. Let's do a few more each. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, I know there's a lot going on. We're worried about our balance. We're worried about a lot of things when we get in here. Boom, when we end up in these positions here, if I'm not going to be throwing knees first and the headbutts first, he's going to be throwing them first. And that's going to take me off of my game. That's going to make me a little bit more defensive. And he can hurt me. You know, he throws a nice knee to the body, knee to the head. That could completely change the direction of the fight in the match. So when we get in these positions, we need to be kneeing first, headbutting, creating some of our strikes. Now, another school of thought is one of the things you'll see the Russians do a lot is they'll get into these positions and they hold them. And they don't move until you get ready to throw a headbutt or a knee, and then they counter you. So there's like a couple schools of thought, a couple different ways to look at things. When Zach was fighting versus Russia at Worlds when we were there in South Korea, you know, Zach's an animal. Zach comes in, gets here, but then the Russian just kind of stayed tight and then gets the inside grip. And then, you know, Zach's trying to knee his head off and do all this other stuff, and then wing, and then it's drop Sayanagi. He's over. It's gone, right? So once again, that's the beauty of the sport. It's crazy. Combat Sambo is crazy. There's so many things that can kind of happen. So you just have to, you know, maybe look at who you're going against. Are they wild? Are they coming out? Are they a little careless with their striking? Are they a little too rambunctious in these positions? Can we take advantage of that? Or I get into these positions and they're not doing enough. They're a little bit more tight, and therefore I can throw my strikes. I kind of like to do a little bit of both, where I like to come in and strike first and move cut angles. I don't like to stay in any one spot too long. So I like to get in and throw off balance, beat them up, whatever, without getting too wild. I try not to ever get too wild in these positions because I don't want to get countered or do something careless that's going to get me hurt. So I'll come in, I'll you know, headbutt, knee, and then move a guy. Maybe strike, maybe fit back in, maybe move him again. So I do like a lot of moving and turning off of small combinations, and or maybe checking the feet, maybe fitting on a throw, coming back out, establishing a frame, and going back to my striking options as well. And then also, one of the things that we can do when we're in here, guys, we get to the bicep and we get to these positions as well. And so let's say I start throwing headbutts and knees. A lot of times guys will kind of block a little more. Now look, now I can just come over and then start snapping him down. I could just pull his head to the mat, come behind, look to land punches. So we have a lot of control we could really start to kind of put in place in these situations. But once again, when you start to get up against the higher level guys, this happened to Sabatini as well in the World Cup in the finals against the Russian, where he got hit with a couple of katagurumas. He was coming in and looking to win, getting after it. And in the finals, the Russian was just kind of, had an overhook, he would catch him here, catch him here. And then he would basically come in and fit in for his katagurumas and take him down. And he was just basically using counter grips and throws off of those positions. So, awesome. Any questions? What I want to do for you guys, I want to stick around and get like a little live in. Let's get like a little live in, have a little fun. Don't worry about throwing too hard or anything like that. Focus on what we're kind of doing today primarily, because you're going to end up in this spot, right? I don't want, you know, you can, if you get in these positions, imagine the headbutt. This is as far as I go when I'm showing a headbutt. I don't even get close, because he might get close imagining his headbutt. So in my head, I'm going headbutt, I'm going knee, and I'm imagining, I'm checking off all my boxes when I'm in these positions, and then I'm maybe relocking, and then I'm throwing and looking for the takedown. So be safe. Try to stay in your squares. Let's get some 5-minute rounds in. When you guys are on the ground, you know the rules. A little bit of ground and pound. There are submissions that you can hit. All of our submissions are pretty much legal except for like heel hooks and stuff. So you still have, you got your arm bars, chokes, bow and arrow chokes. All that stuff's available for you on the ground as well, okay? Unlike sport. Sport, you're very limited in your subs. MMA, have fun, right? Let's partner up, guys. I'll put a clock on and let's go through some rounds and go at your own pace too. So if you're with your partner and you're like, hey man, I just need to slow it a little down today, let them know. Like, communicate with your partner. Work on certain things if you need to, okay? All right, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3.